This is the Mantispod. It finally came in, so we're talking about tripods and how to think about buying tripods, because I had an interesting experience. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to another video. My name is Nikos. Today we're talking about tripods and how you should be thinking about buying tripods. The question I often get: how much should I be spending on tripods, and what is the idea of the best tripod? And of course, I'm not going to go into full details in this video of how and what each one I have is the best. I'm not going to be doing a review video, but rather I'm going to be explaining the thought process of buying different types of tripods and how you should think about it as you get into buying gear as you start creating your content. Now, this is the Mantispod Pro. It is from PGYTECH. I just picked it up. I've been waiting for a while, and yes, it's still bubble wrapped, and it came from B&H. Now, the idea here is that I do look at things in terms of investments always, and I always look at them of use case value. So when we're looking at some kind of contraption like this, where it is a simple tripod, I still want to make sure that I'm purchasing something that's going to be based on my workflow and the use case. The idea here is very simple. You're going to look at what you're doing, and you're going to ask yourself, what do I really definitely need? Not go on and watch a couple reviews and be like, hey, I'm going to go purchase this. You're looking at the workflow. And I talked about this in a previous video that I'll link below. And it's about that workflow, about what you're doing and where do you want to be. It's your content creation flow. So you can eventually get to everything you need, not, hey, let me just go buy everything and then not buy the right things for one, two, spend too much money, three, not treat it as an investment so you know to upgrade your gear as time moves on. And this is what I see often, and is the case many times, where people will go buy the camera first and then they'll buy everything else, and then the new camera will come out and they'll be like, oh, I can't spend $3,000 on a camera now. And this is the process that we take, and this type of tripod stuff is part of that idea that I want to share. Now, when you're looking at different tripods, and this would be one of the best ones I've used, and literally it's a newer one, and I mean, everybody was like, buy the expensive ones, but this thing, I went and fitted it out with a couple of different heads here so I can take my product photography and all this. So this can come off, and I got two different ball heads on here to do the different shots I want to do, whether I'm flipping this upside down, I can shoot the overhead shots, or if I'm putting it in type of a situation where it is off to the side and it's being used as a second camera, and I want to get maybe those shots for Instagram or TikTok and videos for TikTok. So we're looking at it and we're saying, all right, what is the use case I'm going to be using in terms of where I'm going with the tripod overall? Now, I have a bigger camera stand here where you can see here, it is a heavy duty stand, and clearly I can put more weight on this heavy duty stand. I do have everything on wheels. It makes things so much easier, so I can move things around, and I will leave links below on those wheels and the video I did do on this earlier last year. Now, the idea is that sometimes I put heavy equipment on this stand. So I might rent a heavier camera, I might rent and rig out something that we need for a particular shoot, and it just protects things much better than this newer one. Now, this one is very light and effective. This heavy duty one, well, guess what? You're not going to be able to just pick it up and go anywhere to just use it. You need to have a purpose for that, and there's going to be some aspect of you to want to bring this big heavy stand. You can get away with something that's a lot lighter, and at that, a lot cheaper. Now, the prices do go up based on what you're buying. I mean, Peak Design has a super expensive one, and like, I'd love to buy it. It's it's compact. It looks like it does a great job, and a lot of people swear by it, but I can't justify the money for it when I do have the things I need here with things I bought used, or I have been able to accumulate over time from other people that were buying newer things. So the idea then just becomes, what do we have to look at in terms of what we need? Now, the other aspect is, the Mantispod, and why I went with something like, this at the beginning, and why we switched over to something like this over time. And one's a switch pod, one's a Joby, and this has served me well. I mean, I have a couple of these, and the problem with these Jobys, the 5K ones that I've been using, you can see this leg is just too loose, and when you put too much weight on here, eventually these do lose traction and the stiffness, and then you're in danger of having your $5,000 camera on this and crying if it falls over. We've seen some people, including, like, I remember watching a video of Peter McKinnon, and he hated this because he dropped his camera, but I mean, or it tipped over because one of the legs can go loose. Now, can I still use this for different things? Yes. So would I put my camera on here and use it on just a stand? No, but I would put a camera on here and hang it off something, because I can still grip everything with this, say around like a branch if we're outside and I want to use a light, or if I want to put a camera on there and get a different viewpoint while we're doing a shot. I can still use this, but I can't trust it enough. Now, this is my my original one, and I still use it. I have another one that recently just broke, and then I was looking at it, and I'm like, well, what else can I buy, because I'm going to need another one. Now, this is a Mantis. Sorry, this is the switch pod, and the switch pod is great. It switches open and then it closes, but you put a ball head on here, and you use it for vlogging this way, or you can use it for just having stability with your shots, and you put the camera on here, and I can just hold it in this manner, and it's been good. It's been good, and it's made out of some kind of metal, and it's really firm. But the idea of this is that you don't get all the shots that you want, and the flexibility and the different positions that you get with the Joby. So the question then just becomes, do I want to buy another Joby, or do I want to buy something else? Now, I've been looking at a whole bunch of different videos in this time, and this is where the mindset comes in, and you go, okay, what do I need? For my still shots, I have what I need. Do I need to buy anything else like that? And look at my budget and say, I really want that peak design, or do we wait on that, since we have, things that actually work for us right now? So we're not going to spend the money on that, but we're going to look at other smaller or more geared, tailored towards my workflow on handheld tripods. So we look at that, and along the lines, I was looking at these different videos of people when Mantis Pod came out about 8, 9, 10 months ago, and I had it in my mind. And then I did see that a few more creators came out, like Peter McKinnon, and they're like, oh, this is the next best thing. And this is where, at the time, I was back into looking at stuff, and it just kind of popped up, and I didn't rush to buy it. And to be honest, I wasn't going to buy it. I looked at everybody doing the reviews again. I went back to see other people doing their previous reviews. I emailed them, I messaged them, and I asked them, hey, how has it been for the last 8 months? And they all got back to me with a positive aspect of what they thought about it. Now, the idea with it is that when you pick this up, it's got a whole bunch of different features, and it's smaller, compact, and on the back it's got this little stick that pops out, and you can put it against fences and this and that. So it's not as versatile as a Joby. However, the only reason I really bought it, to be honest with you, after the Peter McKinnon video was up, they gave a 10% discount, and I looked at the price, and I was like, I can buy another Joby for that, and I can serve my needs much better with that. So this was kind of like, so I put it on the back burner, but then long and behold, B&H had a sale on for $50 cheaper, and I ended up picking this for $100 US, so USD. So, I mean, at that point, I was like, it's not breaking the budget for me to try it, see how it is, and see the use I'm going to get out of it, because I did want something that is more stable in that way, so I don't have to carry this 5K Joby. At that, I was thinking of buying a 3K so I can have something smaller to travel around with, because the 5K is rather big, and like, I mean, it's long, it's big, and it gets annoying sometimes. So the thought process here is I still have one that I use. I have one that still is usable. I just have to be very careful with it, and I can still use those for other setups, other things I need, and the use cases I need with that. If I go on a shoot, I will bring it with me, but I'm thinking, hey, let me give this one a try and see how it goes with this. I have had this design before. This just has more designs, and I loved using that design, except I had bought a cheap one and it broke, and then I was like, I want something better. And so we're gonna give that a try. But again, I waited because it was a sale, and it was worth it with a sale. Again, tripods are tripods, they will break. So you got to look at it with the idea of the more you spend, okay, the more money you got to think about that idea of spend turns into investment, and then you say, how long will I be using this? Even this heavy duty one that I have here, that my buddy, like, it was a used one, he fixed it up, he made it better, it's loose again, and I gotta like tighten it all the time. And these are expensive ones. They're like $300, $400, $500, and you're going used, so you're sitting there going, these should be better. But honestly, this from newer has served me way more. Like, this has fallen off a cliff, and it's still good, you know. And yes, you got to tighten all of this, but eventually I'm gonna have to replace it because one of the legs isn't coming out as easy. And you go, okay, when will that happen, and what do you need along the way? I wanted to put this into perspective so that as I start talking more about these tripods and what you need, and I will do a full review on the Joby versus the Mantispod Pro, and talk about the different features that come with these and how you will be able to use this in case you're thinking about what to buy. And of course, leave your comment below. What's been your experience with tripods? Cheaper? Is it any good? I know people like that middle ground. So are you the middle type of person, or invest, go all in and turn it into an investment that you know you're going to keep the tripod for like a long 10, 20-year period? I know there's a lot of you out there who are going to comment below and be like, you got to buy the best, you got to buy the best, and you got your point on that. If you have expensive specific gear that needs certain tripods, yes. If you're buying a $5,000 camera with a $3,000 lens, it is bloody scary to put it on one of these and be risky of this breaking and falling over and breaking your camera. At the same time, you got to look at it from the reality of you're going to need use case scenarios of your budget and how that's going to fit your workflow. And of course, you know, the way you see things may affect somebody's purchasing. So leave your comment below, leave your story below, and of course, check out these two videos.